My name is Francis, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to make the law of attraction easy, how to stop making it difficult, because we like to make the law of attraction so much more difficult than it actually has to be, because your manifestation and what you want to create is supposed to be an effortless and easy process, but our egos and the construct of who we think we are in this present moment completely blocks us from actually stepping into this identity and making it easy, because your ego doesn't wanna change. Your ego and who you think you are is making the law of attraction difficult. So there's an easier way where you don't have to be trying so hard, you don't have to be putting in so much effort. Yes, you can still take the action. You can still take the action, but you can do it from a place of flow and being on the vibration as if it's already done, so that it's easier for you. Because in reality, it already is done. Everything that you want to create, that vision that you have for yourself, already exists now. We like to believe unconsciously that our vision exists in the future, but the truth is that that version of you already exists now, because the only thing that exists is actually this present moment. Nothing happens outside of this present moment. Think about it. Does anything that you want exist outside of this moment? And this is super crucial to understand when it comes to making the law of attraction easy, because we like to believe that we have to get somewhere in the future, and then when we finally get there, then we can finally get the results that we want. Then we can finally be that identity that we want to create. Then you can finally shift into that role that you want to be once you take certain actions. But the truth is that you can actually completely flip this and become who you want in this present moment by just giving yourself permission and realizing that it already exists. What you want, the vision that you have, already exists in this present moment. It doesn't exist in the future. It doesn't exist one day, but it exists right now in this present moment, because the present moment is the only thing that actually exists. So what you're going to understand is that the reason why you're making the law of attraction difficult in your life right now is because you're just creating that resistance that your ego is creating. Your ego is actually creating resistance and making things much more difficult than it has to be, because the ego doesn't like to be in this present moment. The ego wants to be in some other moment than this moment right now. And the ego is at a lower vibration and it's creating lack. It thinks that it doesn't actually have enough. And that ego, that construct of who you think you are, that you're attached to, is creating resistance. It's not allowing you to fully step into that vision in the way that you could. It's not allowing you to fully bring that new identity that you want in an easy and effortless way. Because once again, your ego doesn't want to change. Your ego wants to stay comfortable. Your ego doesn't want to actually shift. I know that you think that you want to shift. I know that you think that you want to shift into the identity, you want to manifest, you want to create that reality, you want to step into that vision, you want to create what you want. But to a certain extent, you don't actually want to change, because the ego, the concept of who you think you are, wants to survive at all costs. Not just physically, but mentally. It wants to keep that construct of who you think you are alive. So if you think that you're just a shy person and that you're just somebody that goes to a 9-to-5 job and you don't have the purpose and the passion and the thought patterns to shift into somebody that can have their own business or become an artist or follow your life purpose or whatever you want to do, that identity of you being a shy person is going to try to stay alive. It's not going to want to change, because you have to realize that to a certain extent, that momentum of that thought pattern of who you think you are is going to try to stay alive, and it's going to try to stay consistent and congruent with that identity. It's going to want to keep going in that direction. It wants to just keep going and repeat itself over and over and over again, and it wants to stay consistent, even though at a deeper level, your awareness and the truth of who you are as consciousness, as just awareness, as just the witnessing presence of reality, that part of you wants to change. That higher self version of you wants to change. The deeper core of who you actually are before form and before thoughts and before feelings and before emotions, that part of you wants to change. But the part of you that is unaware, the part of you that is unconsciously still attached to that identity, doesn't want to change. And that is the part of you that is making the law of attraction difficult, because in reality, you can just make a choice to shift into that reality right now. You think that it's not a choice because you have that story playing in your head. You have that story of who you think you are that you're unconsciously attached to playing in your head. Because here's the thing, a lot of us are unconsciously absorbed in our thoughts and we don't even realize it. We have no conscious awareness of the thoughts that are playing in our head. And even though you might not have conscious awareness of those thoughts, it doesn't mean that those thoughts are still not creating your reality. Just because you don't have conscious awareness of your thoughts doesn't mean that they're not creating your reality. Doesn't mean that they're not still influencing the way that you take action and the way that you feel your emotions and the way that you relate to people and the assumptions that you have about yourself, which are just assumptions. They're just assumptions. You assumed that's who you are unconsciously. You assumed that you're just a limited human being and that whatever came to you at childhood, that's just who you are. You may have just assumed that's just who I am. I'm just a shy person. I can't live my purpose. I can't do this. This is just who I am. I am just somebody that goes to 9-to-5 job. I am just somebody that is unworthy of my dreams. I am just somebody that can't attract a relationship into my life. That's just who I am. Well, is it really? Is it really who you are? Or is that just a story that you've created that you're unconsciously attached to? Because we like to play these stories in our head that we attach to, and we believe that's just who we are. We believe that this is just who I am. But when you can start to observe your thoughts and not take them so seriously, you'll find that that story of who you think you are actually has nothing to do with who you are, because you are not even a human being. You are not even a human being. You are pure awareness. You are pure consciousness that is observing the forms of being a human being. You're just observing the thoughts, you're observing the emotions, you're observing the feelings, and you're observing the forms in reality. But there's a formless part of who you are that can just observe. And from that place of observation, not attachment, not attaching to the forms of reality, is actually the place where all possibilities exist. From that spaciousness, from that awareness of just observing reality, lies every single possibility that you have for yourself. Every single vision that you have of yourself in the future already exists now from that space of observation, because that space of observation already exists in this moment. All possibilities exist in awareness. You are God and you can create anything that you want. God can create anything and you are God, so you can create anything that you want. And I don't mean that in a religious way. I'm not a religious person, but when I use the word God, I'm talking about the awareness, the formless part of who you are that actually comes before any thought, that comes before any emotion, that comes before any feeling, because we believe that we are just our thoughts. We believe that we are just our emotions and we are just our feelings. But how can you be something that you can be the witness of? If you can witness a thought, then is that thought who you are? If you have a thought telling you that you are just a person that's not worthy, is that really who you are? Or is that just a thought pattern and a story and something that you believe to be true? It's an opinion, because it's not a fact that you are unworthy. It's not a fact that you can't go for your dream. It's something that you tell yourself because you're unconsciously playing it in your head over and over and over. And you can break that cycle by just becoming conscious of it. And that is the thing that is not making law of attraction easy, and that is what is stopping you from making it an effortless and easy process. If you want to stop trying so hard, let go of the thing that's making it hard. Who says that it's hard? The story in your head. Is it truly hard? Is it hard to do something and be that version of you? Because for me, it's not hard to record a daily YouTube video. It's not hard to just step into that role. But if I was to believe it was hard, then it would be hard. If I was to believe that I'm not worthy, then it would be hard to do it because I'm not worthy while in front of the camera, because I'm attached to that story. If I believe unconsciously and I have an identity unconsciously attached to a story of me being in a 9-to-5 job, then yes, being a full-time YouTuber would be difficult. It would be difficult if I believe unconsciously that I am a shy person and that's just who I am. Then yes, it's going to be difficult to step into the role that I want of having an online business and being a full-time YouTuber and doing what I love. But it becomes easy when you let go of the past, you let go of the things that are not allowing you to step into that identity right now, because that version of you already exists now. It already exists in this moment. It doesn't exist one day in the future, because the future is a concept in your head. And if you keep telling yourself that you're going to get there one day in the future, then you're always going to be in the present moment, telling yourself that you're going to get there in the future. You have to embody that identity of you right now as if it's already done, because it already is done. What would that version of you be saying? From the first person point of view, honestly, think about it from that. I want you to paint a picture in yourself, a picture of yourself in your mind right now about who you would be as if it was already done. Just imagine, just like play a little mind game. Imagine that version of you, you're already that version of you right now. What thoughts would you be saying, right? I am grateful that large sums of money come into my life easily and effortlessly. I am a full-time YouTuber. I am grateful that I get to do what I love for a living. That's just who I am, because I chose that identity because I let go of the old identity. And I also imagine myself in the future, which is not really in the future, it's happening right now, being in my apartment, doing what I love, looking at the balcony, looking from the balcony at that view, and I take a deep sigh and I go, I am so grateful that I get to do what I love for a living. Okay, and then I have that silver plaque of 100K subs on my wall. I look at it, and then I call my sister up. Well, actually, that wouldn't make sense, because if I have that silver plaque, then I would have already had the 100K subs. But I have another vision where I message my sister and I go, I just hit 100K subs, right? Because it's already done. That's what I'd be saying to myself. I have that vision because it already happened. I'm not imagining the process in between. The process is irrelevant. Choose who you want to be, step into that vibration now, and the process and the actions that you have to take will naturally flow into your life, and you'll be guided to follow that path. You'll be synchronistically guided to follow the path that you need to follow, because you're thinking about the end result as if it's already done, instead of thinking about taking action and then being that person. Because you think that you have to take all the action, you have to do all of these different things, you have to do this, you have to do that, I have to try hard, then it can be easy. Then I can just take a step back. Okay, finally, my reality is easy. Finally, I can just take a step back because that's who I am now. Why go through all of that? Let go of the past, meaning the current story that you tell yourself, become the observer, and then just choose to shift into that identity that you want to be right now, because it already exists. This is what completely changed my life, when I realized that that version of me already exists right now. Because I used to think that version of me exists in the future, but then I realized that the future doesn't exist, because the present moment is the only thing that exists. So if the present moment and this now moment is really the only thing that exists, does that not mean that that vibration of you that you think in the future is actually already happening now, or has the potential to be happening now if you tune into that frequency? Think about that. Just really think about this. If the present moment is the only thing that exists, Does that version of you exist now, or does it exist in the future? Because if you think that it exists in the future, you're always going to be in the now thinking about the future. But if you choose to step into that identity now, because you let go of the attachment to the old identity, then your reality will be a reflection of that. The things on the external will be a reflection of the internal that you have created. And it's not going to be that difficult because it's going to be something that you made effortless because you let go of the old identity. So that is what is making it hard. Your ego, the attachment to the past and the future, not being connected to the moment, the resistance that the ego creates because it wants to continually live into the past, into the future, and not be here right now. The resistance, the ideologies of who you think you are, the beliefs of who you are, the story that you tell yourself. All of that is making law of attraction difficult. All of that is what is making you try so hard and not allowing you to just step into the vibration of what you want to create. All of that is making it difficult. And the more that you raise your consciousness, the more that you raise your vibration, the more that you become the conscious being that you actually are, the more that you disidentify from your thoughts, the more that you disidentify, meaning that you stop creating an identity from your thoughts, from your feelings, from your emotions, then you can choose to step into that new identity that you want. Because in reality, even that future version of you also isn't who you are at a deeper level. That future version of you is just a concept that you may attach to. And so to shift into that identity is to just become the observer, to just be the awareness of that old identity so that the new version of you can come in a very easy and effortless way. So that's all I have for you today. If you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because I post a new video every single day. Hit that like button so more people can actually see this kind of information and wake up to the truth of who they actually are. I'm also offering a free guided meditation that is specifically designed to allow you to connect deeper to the present moment, and is designed specifically to allow you to just connect to that truth and connect to that spaciousness, where from that spaciousness, the law of attraction will be much easier to actually attract things into your life. You'll be able to attract what it is that you want in a much easier way. It's completely free. So just hit the link that's in the description box of this video. I'll also leave a comment in this video for that meditation. So that's all I have for you today. Have yourself a great day and see you in the next video.